really hard, do all the brickwork myself, do the floors myself to make this money. Property investment and development must be done at a distance if you are to enjoy it. I have seen people who develop, say, a house and spend nearly a whole year at the property, supervising every little thing, or doing their own painting, or trying to do tiling themselves. That is not the way I do things. Remember, I'm not a carpenter or a plumber, and I don't want to be one. If you are a plumber, you don't need to be learning how to produce drawings or install the foundations. We just need to budget for and hire the best people. If your venture does not support hiring the best people, it's just going to be a horrible experience working with people who provide the cheapest price. It was very difficult writing this book, as I am not naturally someone that likes to sit down and write. I wrote most of it on the move. Sometimes I would have an idea and scribble it down on receipts in supermarkets, on notepads at traffic lights, and on A4 pads in beaches across England. Usually all as I walked, rambled, ran or cycled. I think best when I am moving. Unfortunately, you do have to sit down with your laptop and just review and edit, so it's tough. But enjoyable for me, it must be said. As house prices become increasingly unaffordable in the UK due to poor governance, we need more and more people building their own houses, refurbishing their own houses to keep the building stock increasing. Without getting into politics, my politics is very cross-party and I cherry-pick from all the ideas I like from various parties. We can't rely on any government to do it for us. We must take our own destiny into our own hands. I love property development as I take a natural enjoyment in making things better. While we can't make ourselves look that much younger or better looking, we can change properties and neighbourhoods. Think about it. We can take something that is terrible and make something beautiful from it. Outside of my dealings in property development, I love interiors and retail simply because they are so visual and changes can be instant. I hope that this book encourages you to invest and develop in property, but to do it sensibly. It can be the easiest way of making money, but also of losing it. Always over budget and plan for the very worst scenario so that you will only face pleasant surprises and savings on your journey. I would like you to build a portfolio that allows you to be financially independent, not broke or in debt, and again, hopefully you enjoy the process. What does this book cover? This book is about property investment as well as property development. Property investment for me is where you buy a property like an apartment, a house or a building of some sorts and immediately look for a return without any further investment like a rental income or you sell on again for a quick return. It's pretty much a form of accountancy like investing in stocks or shares. So, it doesn't involve any construction or adding value. Property development is where you buy a property and spend as little money as you can, whilst adding as much value as you can to the property before monetizing it. So this is where you would buy a house, add an extension with some additional bedrooms, and then sell the property making a profit. On a larger, sexier scale, it is where you might buy a site in Manhattan and build 100 apartments on it, and sell them all for a profit or rent. What one thing should you take from this book? I love the economics phrase, seeing the forest, not just the trees. I hope that after reading this book, you understand this more. Property and construction is not about one tree like an architect or a builder or an estate agent. It is instead a whole forest of moving parts that all need to be accounted for. The most important lesson is never to get fixated on one tree. For example, always listening to one person like the project manager or the architect. It's important to rise above everyone and remember your goal, which is to make money in property, and again with this book, have fun. The minute you're on site starting to choose window samples or showing a contractor around is when you're starting to lose your overall view or control of the process. I would nearly go as far as to say a good property investor should never even have to visit the property or site once during the whole process, as the perfect investor would have the budget and the delegation skills to have people to do every role for him. Further reading and study. While this book provides a great introduction to property development, you need to tread very carefully with your investments. Always get independent cost advice from multiple sources and double check and stress test your anticipated income. Please never make positive assumptions like property prices will rise by then or my mate Dave will do that work way cheaper. This book has a corresponding course that I run which goes through the contents of this book in detail and shows you how it works in practice. To be honest, it is only for people who have the cash to do so and want to.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.